Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the What Is She podcast, episode 48, where Alana and myself will be discussing and breaking down and definitely 100%ly freaking out over Critical Role Campaign 2, episode 139.
Wow.
Y'all, I'm sure, most of you youngins out there and oldins who have a Twitter may have seen a particular tweet by one
Yep.
Matthew Mercer saying
100 and
that the campaign is coming to a rapid close, and we are in fact 100% confirmation in the last story arc of campaign 2.
I mean, we called it, didn't we?
Yeah, it's
I don't
it's
know
one of
whether
the,
we actually landed on it, but let's say we
it's
called it.
it's it's one of those things where, we had talked about it, and we kind of were on board with that idea that this was the
Yeah.
last story arc. But now that it's confirmed, like 100%, because before I felt okay with thinking that it was the last story arc because there was like a
Yeah.
gray area where it could not have been. Like there could have
Yeah.
been more. So I was
Yeah, it'd be a
okay.
safety net.
Yeah, there was a safety net, but now it's like this is it. Like we are on the last
And,
story arc. This is it. We're done after
and
this.
and we went into like a final boss fight this episode. I
Yeah,
think that's what
like
surprised me the most. I think we've just been like, because it's been a super long arc, it's been all of Aor and it's been like all the stuff with Vesta Rogner and it's been all
yeah,
the Tomb Taker stuff. I've been like, oh yeah, this is gonna go on for a while. This is gonna
right.
take some time to get to. And then it just didn't click for me when this episode started and they're having the big bad evil guy boss fight, and I'm just like, oh, this is the end
Yeah,
fight.
it's
Obviously split in half, but I'm like, this is the end fight. Oh, this
right.
makes
I think
sense.
it's interesting that you talk about that because I felt that too. Where like and you mentioned this like before the episode the podcast where the anxiety wasn't there, like the nervousness wasn't there in this
Yeah,
fight. I think it's because like most of us, or at least for me, I won't speak for everyone, but initially I wasn't fully expecting this to be the last story arc. I wasn't expecting
yeah,
Lucian to be the big bad. I knew there was going to be a fight. I just didn't think it was going to be the ultimate climactic battle of the
yeah,
campaign. And
and
so when
yeah,
we got the confirmation that this campaign was over, all of a sudden we have to switch like our entire perspective on this arc into this arc being the final one. Because we're so used to seeing final arcs happening, level 18 plus, it feels really early for a final arc. So, when this arc started, we were like, oh, this is just going to be like the arc that sets up the final one and stuff. So, in my mind, I wasn't emotionally invested in this being the final arc. And so now all of a
yeah.
sudden that we have to make that change, it feels so sudden, and that's why for me at least like my emotions are lagging a bit in terms of being like
Mm.
invested in this being the final fight, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was very much like this is exciting. I'm excited to see what happens with
Mhm.
Lucian and the Tomb Takers and the city. I wonder what's happening next. Not in the sense that there's anything wrong with this arc or that it's
Yeah.
uh like I know you said lacking in emotion, but it's not lacking in emotion of it
Or
being some
yeah.
kind of bad thing, which is not what you
Right.
said, but
Yeah.
like it's a bit like cool, great, they're gonna do this, and then what are they gonna do next? Like I'm looking forward to the future. Uh and now it's kind of like, oh no, this is it. Which is fine. It's fine. This is as good as any place to end it. And um, I mean, yeah, campaigns can end
Yeah. Oh
this
yeah.
early. Campaigns can end
Definitely.
level 5. Um, so I don't think the levels have ever been much
No.
in their mind. I think even Matt early on in the campaign
Mhm.
said he didn't see it going to level 20. It was just like, oh, but what if? What if it
Right.
goes to level 20, Matt?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think yeah, it was. I mean, the fact that we're talking about it like this, I think it was a smart thing for Matt to announce it.
Definitely.
Um,
100%.
uh, because we get energetic, but I know there are a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people in the community that get a lot more energetic than we do.
Yeah.
In terms of uh, how to say emotional
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
connection to the show.
Totally get it.
Uh,
Totally get it.
so Yeah, so I think it was a smart move. And yeah, and it means we can enjoy this fight. I
Yeah.
kind of wish you'd done it maybe last week, so we had a week leading up to it to
Yeah.
get
To
even
get
more
like
hype.
hyped for this, yeah.
Because yeah, as I was saying, like coming into this, it's like, oh, this is the final fight. I wasn't really expecting this to be the final fight. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
And
cool fight.
it's yeah, it's been such an amazing fight so far. Um but yeah, like I kept having to like I was invested in the fight because it's Lucian and stuff. I love Lucian's character, and of course Molly is a part of it as well. Um, but I had to keep like reminding myself like this is the final fight of the campaign. This is it. Like
Mm,
it's just such like a weird thing to
yeah,
wrap my head around because in campaign 1 like we
mm,
knew the fight with Vecna
yeah,
was it, like that was it. Even in the final episode, like the final battle, like the entire cast tweeted out about it, being like, this is it, it's time, this is the final battle. But we've had no like outside hype leading up to
yeah,
this final battle because we didn't have confirmation that this was going to be like the final battle until
yeah.
hours before the episode aired.
I
um
think I think that's interesting too because I was going to talk a bit about campaign one, and so obviously, guys,
mm,
spoilers for campaign one,
yeah,
but a little bit of me was just thinking that then, and we've talked before about how different the genres of these campaigns are. Whereas campaign one was about the almost super heroic
yeah,
Vox Machina. These guys are very small scale, even though they're fighting at this large scale. I felt that with Vecna, it was, you know, world ending, everyone
yeah,
knew about it. The heroes are coming in, the firefighters are coming in to
yeah,
save the day. It felt massive and epic and climactic. I think with this situation, one, it's probably because we don't know what's going to happen if
yeah,
the city gets back. We had some idea of what Vecna had planned, and Vecna was this imminent threat that was in the
mm-hmm,
material plane. I feel like the the stakes aren't any less, but the stakes
right,
aren't as well known.
mm-hmm.
Um,
That's a really good
and
point.
so when we see, and it's, yeah, like you would go to King Dwendal and be like, "Hey, what do you think about this city?" He'd be like, "What?" Like
Yeah,
it's it's kind of, it feels like the Mighty Nine out on their own. It feels like the
mm-hmm,
only downside is that the Mighty Nine are going to die.
yeah,
It's hard to quantify the threat to the material plane with this entity, which is fine because it's the same
yeah,
scale that this campaign's been on. It's been these personal kind of struggles, these
mm-hmm,
small scale, except I think it's meant to be a big scale threat. I just
yeah,
it's hard to kind of figure out what the threat is.
mm-hmm,
Which is why I think I was surprised when it was like, "Oh, super cool new mini. Oh, final fight. Oh, campaign ending."
yeah,
Um but I like it. I think this will be like a really good arc to rewatch.
mm-hmm,
Um if you can like speed through like the trekking through Aor and things like
yeah,
that, because it has been a long time coming, this arc. Um
mm-hmm.
yeah. I remember back in Rumblecast, like, oh, they'll go to Aor and then they'll do all these other
Yeah,
things.
yeah. We thought Aor was just gonna be some like little nice side arc.
Yeah,
Nope. Turns
yeah.
out that little did we know back then that the Aor arc was gonna be the last one.
Oh my
Little
goodness.
did we
I s
know.
Yeah, but as always, like, we trust them to tell the story, and
Yeah.
I want to know. Like, I know they said that the story might continue in other forms or there might be one shots.
Right.
I just I want I want to know what's gonna happen with the Cerberus Assembly.
I
Like, there
know.
has to be
People were making
something.
some good points on Twitter because every obviously most people were like, but what about the Cerberus Assembly arc and what about
Yeah,
Bo's thing and stuff? And
yeah,
people made a good point in saying that like the Cerberus assembly stuff and what they want to do with dismantling that is going to be a lot of like boring like reconnaissance, like
yeah.
subterfuge, like spying, and it's going to be a
Mm,
lot of like just like not high octane stuff
yeah.
that might not be as entertaining as we think to watch
Yeah,
play out. It'd be very slow
still,
burn.
a trend confrontation
Yes.
is
That's-
exciting to think about, but that
yes.
could potentially happen after this in
Mhm.
the wrap up. Like, that's not
Yeah.
necessarily something that has to be so dramatic. It could be the whole point of, Caleb turning over the new leaf of, "I'm not gonna kill Trench, I'm going to turn him over to the authorities." Oh god.
Yeah.
Could you No, I just want Trent to die, but, that's might
Mhm.
be how it goes. Um,
But what do we think?
he's collar, he's had the anti-magic collar for so long.
Yeah. So because the party is 2 weeks, or the cast is 2 weeks ahead
Yes,
of episodes, so they're
about that, I
does that
think,
mean they're
yeah.
2 episodes ahead or 1 episode ahead? Can't remember.
I always thought they were just one episode ahead.
I thought so too.
I thought they filmed on a Thursday, and the episode that aired that Thursday was the one they had recorded the week previous,
Yeah.
but it could be they could have, like, filmed a couple over the Christmas break and caught up, or, like, got a
Oh
few in the
yeah.
bank, for all we know. I'm trying to You can try and, like, if there's any, like, real kind of, um, you wanna get in depth with it, you could maybe match up, like, Sam's hair and beard
Oh
with his
yeah.
Instagram posts to time it. That's next level stuff. I'm
That's
not gonna be
that's
doing that.
going deep. Um,
Yeah.
but because so obviously Matt made uh the tweet saying that I should probably come out and say this since there's been a lot of talk about it. The campaign is
Yeah.
coming to a close soon. Um, Obviously he knows what happens in the next episode, maybe two. So
Mm.
I'm guessing the fight ends next episode. Because
Yeah.
he was saying how the campaign doesn't have to end with a climactic fight. So I'm guessing they
Yeah.
conclude the fight.
Yeah.
Um, and then I'm guessing they probably have like two, maybe 3 episodes of like an
Mhm.
epilogue of like a wrap up.
Yeah. Could just
Um,
be one. The
it
first
could,
campaign
yeah,
was
it could
only
just be
one.
one. It could just be one. So we could potentially be looking at only 3 to 4 episodes left
I ju
of the campaign.
I don't I'm interested to see. I'm not gonna say I don't see because, again, trust them to do it, but I'm
Mhm.
interested to see how I feel like if they do a wrap up where, like, okay, you've defeated Lucian, what's next for the Mighty Nine? With Vox Machina, it was very much they were ready to retire. Like, it was very
Yeah.
much Keyleth goes with her people,
Mhm.
Vex and Percy go live off, Pike and Scanlan go live off together. Um, with the Mighty Nine, I could just see them being like, we just keep traveling? Like, question mark. Um,
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't mean to cut off that thought process.
yeah, no.
But with yeah, like I'm just comparing, and it's bad to compare the two campaigns because
Yeah.
they're vastly different in theme,
It's our only point
characters,
of
and all that stuff.
reference
But
for
yes,
how
it's
a
our only
Critical Role campaign
exactly,
ends.
exactly. And I'm not saying that again. The disclaimer: I'm not saying that the way Campaign 2 is ending is bad by any means. I've been thoroughly enjoying this
No,
arc,
no,
and
I'm
I fully
enjoying it.
trust that they will wrap it up in a satisfying way. But just comparing, the level of hype, like I didn't even watch campaign 1 and I was still so hyped watching those last couple episodes
Yeah.
because that fight with Vecna was so epic, so many awesome moments.
Mm.
And just like uh the consequences of failure were so
Yeah.
heavy. The battle happened right over Amon. Like
Mm.
there was
So
an
yeah.
audience. Right? It was Amon, right? Or was it
Vasselheim.
Vasselheim? Sorry, I was thinking. Yeah, Vasselheim. Vasselheim. Same city.
Yeah.
Um. So we don't have that audience there. Waiting to see if the heroes are going to succeed and stuff. It was this battle was at the end of Vox Machina's journey. They had gone through hell and back,
Yeah.
literally.
Held
They had
level
gone through
20
so
at
much,
the
the
end.
Chroma Conclave, all this stuff, and then the final boss, Vecna, is trying to ascend, and it's the last hurrah for Vox Machina to save the world and stuff, and it's just this incredibly climactic battle. But again, with this, while it's still grand scale in the sense that if Lucian, you know, is successful in bringing the city back, it could be world ending. But again, like the point that you made, no one knows about it. No
Yeah.
one has any idea. So the audience, in quotations, the audience is out of the window. So that
Mm.
the hype that an audience brings in is gone.
Mm.
Um and
I I'm feeling like, as you're describing it, I'm just thinking that I think it feels more realistic this way
yeah.
because, like I
Yeah.
said before with Vox Machina, how they kind of like they were like the superheroes. Everyone knew who they were. They were the mighty heroes, Vox
Hmm.
Machina. And I think that's probably more in line with how Tal'Dorei does work. Like
Yeah.
it felt very fantasy. Whereas if you look at Wildman, it's very more political, more
Hmm.
based on like bureaucratic development and things like
Yeah.
anyway, all that sort of stuff. So when you see like the Mighty Nine doing all these incredible things, destroying all these incredible beasts and brokering peace or
Yeah.
helping to broker peace between two nations, and yet they could walk down the street and people have no idea who they are. That seems kind of realistic. It
Yeah.
it reminds me a bit of the end of like Lord of the Rings when the hobbits
Mm.
return to Hobbiton
Yeah.
and like no one knows who they are. Like
Yeah.
um
And there is some
and
charm to that.
yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of though I think because we're like, oh no, they're out. Like we love the Mighty Nine. We want them to get the awards and congratulations. At least that's me. I'm just like, oh, I wish people would know who they are. Um,
Hmm.
it's yeah, I think that's kind of realistic, and I think it's again, it's just showing the differences in the campaign, the differences in how these groups
Yeah.
function, which is why might be why it's difficult for some people and even to me to some extent to think of how this campaign's going to end in the next couple episodes because you're like, is there closure, is there an end,
Yeah.
is there, and not necessarily an end because it could continue,
Yeah.
we just might not see it.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know, you got to learn how to let things go.
Hmm.
um
But that was the
but
other point I was going to make before I completely lost my train of thought. Um,
yeah, sorry. Kind of
the
jumped in at that point.
no, no, that you saved me because I totally lost track of where I was going, but now I remember. Um, because with campaign 1, like it was all wrapped up beautifully. And again,
Mm,
that's unique to, Vox Machina and stuff because there's so many loose ends for the Mighty Nine stories and stuff. But again, the fact that everything was wrapped up and all they had left was this climactic battle just added to the hype because all we needed to focus on and care about was Vecna. We
them
didn't have to
winning.
worry about
Yeah.
anything else. But with this, like when they defeat Lucian, like again, like we were saying before, there's still so many different things that are like on the table still in terms of backstory stuff.
Mm,
Bo with the Cobalt Soul and the trial that's happening, the Cerberus Assembly, Uk'otoa is still, a thing. The Cloven Crystals are still there. So it doesn't feel like it's all wrapped up. And again, um, full faith in Matthew Mercer and the rest of the cast to wrap things up in a way that's satisfying. Because again, it's
yeah.
it's their game, and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
again, because Critical Role has grown to such a degree, they are able to tell these stories through different creative mediums.
Yeah.
Through whether it's novels, comic books,
Mm.
shorts, animated series, whatever it is. Um, I know that we will, and as Matt said, we will see more of the Mighty Nine and more of their stories down the line, much as we've seen, one shots from Vox Machina as well as comic series talking about their the
Yeah.
before the game and all that stuff. So definitely have full faith, but again, it just for me that's the reason why this fight isn't as hyped as
Mm.
campaign 1 just because it feels like there's just still so much more. It doesn't feel like the final battle because they still have so many more
Yeah.
battles to come.
It doesn't feel like the end of Mighty Nine's story because it's
Yes,
technically not. It's
because it's
just the end
not.
of what we
Yes.
get to see.
Yes, that
Um,
is a beautiful way to phrase that. Yes.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think of where to move on from here because it's
Well,
just like
now we can talk about the episode. Now we can talk about the episode. Um, so with all of that in mind, all of the idea that we are in the last arc, this is the final fight. With that in mind, we can talk about the episode with that context. Um,
mm,
because so
yeah.
this episode pretty much started off with the Heroes Feast.
Yeah, them
Was the
deciding
main.
whether or not to go in or feast. I'm so glad
Yeah.
they had the Heroes Feast.
Me too. Me too. That probably came in super clutch.
Yeah.
Super clutch. Especially, she almost rolled, I think, like on the upper end of the temporary hit
A 7
points.
and an 8, I think she
Yeah.
rolled.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Pretty
that's
good.
pretty good. Um, Finally.
Yeah.
That's the last
The
Heroes
double
Feast of the campaign.
ones.
That's pretty
Oh,
exciting.
geez. Yeah. No. Yeah. And especially in a final fight like this, yeah, every point of HP is going to matter.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they start getting low, down to like like single digit hit points, like those are the hit
Yeah.
points that they got from the spell, so they would have been down. It's
Yeah.
entirely game changing, those hit
Exactly.
points. But I like to talk a little bit about the different speeches or comments that the cast had with each other during this Heroes Feast.
Mm.
Mainly, obviously, the comedic point being Sam unveiling his unused jokes that he
Yeah.
had was
That's pretty great.
this was pretty nice.
That's um
Let me actually just pull
yeah,
up my
that's a nice kind of like that scene too, I think, where they're all kind of giving their farewells, kind of farewells, because it seemed like specifically Ford didn't want to, because
yeah.
his whole shtick is not, that's not okay, his whole shtick, that sounds so like rude. His whole
Hmm.
thing is, no, we're gonna win this, we're gonna get out of
Yeah.
this, we don't need to say goodbye, like we fine, we'll come back through this. Um which I think is like, it was supported by, I think it was Caduceus saying like, I've got a lot of things I want to say, but I'll say it to you afterwards.
Yeah, that
Um
was a good line.
so so I think it wasn't quite as uh I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, because the way Matt introduced it was like, is there anything you want to do, want to talk about, want to
Yeah.
say? Like, it was
Yeah.
very much a, like, this is your last chance kind
Yeah.
of to have a chat. But it felt like the characters weren't prepared to have that chat, or like at
Yeah.
least they were. I mean, when you're right next to the thing that you're about to fight, I can
Hmm.
see why. I think, again, I don't want to keep making comparisons to campaign 1, but in
Hmm.
campaign 1, when they were, doing the whole fight to get to Vecna, they had 24 hours in the Feywild in the middle of all this,
Yeah.
where they could go and, well, some of them had 24 hours in the Feywild.
Yeah.
One of them didn't. But they had time to kind of be together and relax a little bit and talk, whereas this would be like almost a last meal of,
Yeah.
trying to get your food down and not wanting to think
Yeah.
about this possibly being the end. So I think Sam broke the tension with the jokes.
Hmm.
Um, and we didn't really see too much else in way of super emotional connections, I didn't think.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is kind of, well, because it did help set the stage for this being the final battle. Getting in these final
Mm,
words.
mm,
And Caduceus's speech definitely got to me a little bit. I can't remember his exact wording, but it was something along the lines of like, I'm like proud to die with you, but I'll be even like happier to survive with you, or something along those
yeah,
lines and stuff. Just a really nice sentiment. But yeah, like you were saying, it seemed like the players, or like the characters maybe weren't expecting to have this like final conversation, because it feels like there should have maybe been more um, discussion amongst themselves. But again, like they are in it, like they can't waste time, and I think that's
yeah. Yeah, I
that's
think if they had like another long rest, if they had another like some more time in the tower, there would have been a lot more kind of
yeah.
official, not official, but you know what I mean, like
Hmm.
more kind of one-on-ones or group
Yeah.
talks. I think this was, as you say, yeah, like, all right, you've had your hero's feast, you need to go. Like, you
Yeah.
need to get a move
And
on.
and to be fair, I feel like we kind of had the final words way back when they were back at Caduceus's home, when they were all talking
Yeah,
amongst like themselves and stuff in little groups, being
yeah,
like, we might not make it back, and like this could be it. Like they kind of
yeah,
already had the conversation in a way. It was just obviously a dozen
yeah,
episodes before.
and the Mighty Nine have, like, I think since Commorta, the Mighty Nine have been very open with each other in terms of
Yes.
their
Yeah.
wants and their feelings, and so I think they're kind of just in tune anyway,
Mm-hmm.
um, to what each other are feeling, to what each other thinks and feels
Yeah.
about each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we see in this scene, like Caleb and Veth, it's just a short kind of stare at each
Yeah.
other.
Oh,
Like, doesn't need
that
to be
one
said
got
because
me. Yeah.
in that stare everything that means. Like, we
Yeah.
know everything about their
Yep.
relationship. So he didn't need to say anything, because we know what his feelings were in that moment.
Yeah.
And same with Veth. So I actually kinda like that. I
Yeah.
liked, because I think had it been, you know, 10 minutes or 15 minutes of declarations of love and
Yeah.
of vengeance and of, like, um, I will take care of your mother, just
Mhm.
like things like that. I think if it had been 10, 15 minutes of that, it would have been harder to watch
Yeah.
because it's like,
And
oh
and
god.
also probably redundant since like now you said now that it's been put into perspective for me,
Yeah.
a lot of this stuff is just assumed amongst
Yeah.
themselves like, they're ride or die now at this point. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best way to say it.
yeah.
Yeah, they're right on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, some words don't need to be spoken. They're just already known in this
Yeah.
way. But one cause for concern in this final feast was what Essek was saying. Obviously, still very heartwarming, but
Mm.
he was basically saying like, if I die, it'll it'll make me feel like it was like an act of redemption for all of the bad
Yeah.
that I've done. So that
Yeah.
tells me that he's going to be willing to sacrifice himself because in his mind, him sacrificing himself is the only way that he could see
He's
himself
only
be
camping
redeemed.
Caleb.
Yeah, 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 pretty much. We've come full circle. Essek is Caleb's story arc. Essek
Yeah.
finishes Caleb's story arc for him. What a gentleman.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, I thought that too, and I hope it's not the case, and I don't think it's going to be the case because
Yeah.
The way Matt plays Essek as a fighter, one, I think because Matt's got so many other things
Oh
happening,
yeah.
so he's not super concerned about the wizard NPC that they've brought as help. I think he plays him, quite sensibly as, a
Yeah.
wizard that's just going to do some damage and stay at the back. So I think Essek's pretty safe unless it becomes a sacrifice for someone else situation.
Hmm.
Um, could see it backwards between Essek and Caleb of no, I'll sacrifice myself. No, I'll sacrifice myself.
Yeah.
Like a never-ending cycle of sacrifice.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, no, I like that. I like that Essek is so comfortable with the group now because it was initially, super standoffish, shadow
Hmm.
hand, started to become friendly with them, was a bit confused by them. Then in Ale was a complete wreck with
Yeah.
them. And now he's kind of, just one of the gang.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I like it. I
Welcome to the
like
Mighty
Essek's
Nine,
group.
Essek.
Ah!
Welcome.
Yeah.
Um, but it felt like I don't know if this was just me because I'm a big Caleb stan, but it felt like Liam wanted to have like a little speech, but I think he got cut off.
That
Maybe
happens sometimes.
it does happen sometime, and
I think
that's to no one's
Liam
fault.
sometimes pauses too
Yeah,
long. I've
yeah,
noticed that a lot before, and then he kind of respects the story to not
yeah,
jump in. But I didn't
yeah,
notice this time, but I'll go back and look because I 100% could see that happening. That
yeah,
that has happened a lot of times before.
yeah. Because he was
Um,
pausing, and it looked like he was about to start talking, and then I think Matt
yeah.
continued the
To be fair,
narrative.
he also does that sometimes, where like
Yeah.
he'll uh, intimate that he wants to have a conversation,
Hmm.
but it's a character choice not to.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to see
Oh
that,
yeah.
to see
Yeah, that's a
what's
good
going
point.
on with him.
Good point.
Um, yeah, no, the Discord was hilarious last night
Oh my god, the
when
Discord
they had
was.
they had the kind of moment, and then they moved apart.
Yeah.
So people breaking down.
Yeah.
I'm not laughing at you guys. It was very sweet.
Oh no, the Discord was in peak form last night. It was great. It was great. But I was hoping for a wizard confession. I was
Yeah.
hoping for it.
Maybe afterwards, but even then, I think it's a very, if we're talking about Shadowgast, and this might put me on fire with like the Discord, but if we're talking about Shadowgast, it's a very young relationship. I'd be surprised if there were declarations of love or even outward affection, like physical affection, because
Hmm.
one, it's very much probably not those characters, I think, to be so like
Yeah.
PDA.
Yeah.
Um, and also there is still like this interesting relationship dynamic of kind of who's in charge, not who's in charge, that sounds really shitty, but like who's, oh, I don't know how to say it, but like, yeah, I think it's like these guys need some time. They need to go on some
Yeah,
dates. They
they've
need
got
to like
some
work it out.
baggage.
I don't see it being like a heroic Essex sweeps in and kisses Caleb and then goes and does an attack. That's a very Ford move. Um, I would be surprised. I would be so surprised if there's an actual like Shadowgast kiss. Not because I'm
Hmm.
anti Shadowgast. It's fine. I love it.
No,
I just
I
don't think
agree.
in
I
character.
agree with what you're saying. Yeah, it's fun to
Could
just
be
get lost in the
implied.
hype of
Oh,
Shadowgast.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%. Um, but yeah, I felt
But yeah,
bad.
realistically and actually, considering both these characters and their personalities and stuff, yeah, it doesn't make sense for a public display of affection. It would definitely happen in a private setting, where it's just
Yeah.
those two. 100%. Can agree
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Definitely. But then they wrapped up their conversations. They wrapped up their heroes feast, and they followed this pulse. Is pretty much what it was. The heartbeat of the
Yeah, that
city,
was
which was
cool.
really cool, really cool. Um,
Mm.
and following it and exiting this hole, we had well
But
first we had Jester and Caduceus try to make the hole. I think because it was closed off. I think is what it was. And
yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah.
Caduceus
Or
failed.
yeah.
Um, which obviously has terrible implications in obtaining another eye.
Apparently,
Yeah, yeah, we had no
it
idea.
makes all the kind of I wouldn't say anyone's earned an eye um trivially. Oh god, I don't know. But like there hasn't been a trivial eye earned. I don't think everyone's earned
Yes.
it because of something that has happened and it's been a direct consequence of a serious action.
Yeah.
Um the fact though that like Jester was, making a
Yep.
spout
Yep.
and it's like, oh, you could have got another eye, ha ha ha. Oh shit, these
Yeah.
eyes are important.
Yep.
Why
Yep.
did we not decide that they
She almost got an eye because of a fart joke she wanted to make.
which is
Uh,
so on brand.
it
I
is
love it
so
so
on
much.
brand. And obviously
Uh,
hindsight we know what those eyes ultimately mean.
oh yeah,
Um,
100%.
but it just makes it even funnier now that we
Yeah.
know. Um,
Oh my
oh,
goodness. Yeah, no,
that would have been great.
I thought that'd be the kind of the little bit of you is just like, oh, kind of, it would have been kind of funny had she gotten an eye
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that. But now, yeah, as you say, knowing what it does, it's like, oh, thank God she
Yeah.
didn't.
That would have been because who knows, maybe -1 is no joke. We see
Yeah,
bless giving even just a +1 can sometimes make or break a thing. So maybe down the line, maybe even in that fight, maybe she was only like you know 1 point off from failing something.
yeah,
It could have potentially meant something. It would be interesting
yeah.
to go back and maybe Krgl Stats has it somewhere, but
To
all of
see
the
at
all of the
any
rolls
point.
she made, if any of them were one away from failure, if the fart joke ended up actually backfiring. um but it's just something interesting.
Yeah,
um
nah, that's good.
but so Matt has just been absolutely on fire with the horror and the descriptions and just the scenery and everything in this Cognoza arc and even in Aor. It's just been such a delight to really be brought into this city. I can just
Mm,
totally he's painting such a beautiful picture in our minds of
yeah,
exactly what everything is looking like, and he definitely delivered, especially with this fight. The
yeah.
cocoon, Lucian emerging from it, very very cinematic in
Mm.
a way, and can we just talk about how fucking cool Lucian looks?
It's so awesome.
Oh
That
my
mini
god.
is beautiful.
So good.
It's yeah,
Matt,
it's
why'd you have to make Lucian hot? What the
I I don't know, like I wasn't even thinking of a Lucian mini because I think I was just thinking of like, oh, it's just a Molly mini, but the fact that he's gone through a
Yeah.
transformation and he has this incredible aesthetic. Um
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Danny, he's a beautiful peacock.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
like Oh my god, yeah, no, it's incredible.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that. I wonder if anyone's
Yeah,
made
it's like
art
with
where
the
like
pale
where the eyes
eyes.
look and like form like that peacock
Yeah,
tail. Oh my
yeah.
god.
What's it? Oh dear, someone might know. There's like a Greek myth or something of, or it might be Egyptian, but like the peacock god with all the all-seeing eyes.
Oh yeah.
I was just getting that kind of
Oh
vision
shit.
of a peacock
That's
god.
so
Um,
cool.
yeah, no,
Um,
it was awesome.
but
No,
definitely
so
not
good.
what I was expecting him to look like. I didn't really know
No.
what to expect when I didn't even know he wanted to like absorb them all into one being. I thought he just wanted like ultimate power and just to take over. I didn't know he wanted to like
Yeah.
transform himself in
It's
that way.
interesting. It kind of makes you think because he's also still seemingly Lucian. Like he still
Yeah.
seems in control. So it's interesting to
Mm-hmm.
think of how, like, who is this guy? The fact that he's able to subjugate these nine minds, despite, like, I
Right.
know the minds were themselves broken in a lot of ways, but what was it
Yeah.
the perhaps was it the stunning, like with
Oh
the
yeah.
intuit charges? But yeah, that kind of idea that he's managed to absorb them and he's able to control them, and seemingly almost I got the sense that he has got all the consciousness of Cognosa
Yeah.
in him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, who is this guy? Like,
I know, like, who is this Lucian
who
that
is
is able to
Lucian? Like,
do this? Yeah,
yeah,
because I mean,
it's
obviously he was granted
pretty
power by the
impressive stuff.
Somnovum, but
Yeah,
did they grant him more power than they had? Is he able to pull this off? It would make sense that he wasn't as powerful as them, but because of the Intuit charge gambit, he was able to overpower them.
yeah,
But yeah, like, what? Who is this? Who's this clown? Who's this circus
yeah,
clown? My God.
yeah. No, it's really cool. The good thing about the campaign ending soon is campaign wrap up, where
Oh
there's
yeah.
gonna be. I hope they
Oh yeah.
take community source questions. Again, I know like the times are off, but yeah, there's so many questions to ask. Of like Lucian pre Somnovan
Yeah.
influence.
Mm-hmm.
Which
There's
I'm
gonna be a
sure we'll get
lot of
to the end
questions
of.
around that.
Yeah.
A ton.
Um.
And it better not be one of those things where it's like, I don't know, it might come up in campaign 3. It's like, shut up, Matt.
Sponsor.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah, the next campaign's all like Claret orders focus, so he can't share any
Yep.
information.
Yep.
Fuck you, Matt.
Oh, because
You
they're
idiot.
conveniently based in Marquette, where the next campaign setting might be. So
Oh boy.
can't. Dang. But
Okay.
yeah, super amazing mini and just a villain aesthetic. Like he just looks so cool.
I
Um,
think Matt was saying online, like it's inspired by his love of Final Fantasy. It's like, oh
mm,
yeah, like, you
yeah,
can see that.
yeah.
This is this is a lot. um, no, it's cool.
It's really cool. And this happened. So we can talk about the fight now. But you know, this was something that happened before the fight and during the fight. All of the Molly call. I wrote them down as Molly calls because
I wrote
they're
emotes
calling
down.
to Molly.
Yeah,
Essentially, they're trying to provoke Lucian in that way. And I wasn't expecting there to be this big of a setup for Molly
yeah.
or for Molly playing this big of a role in this fight.
Mm.
Um, and with all of the Molly calls that happened in this episode, it was like every other Mighty Nine turn, they
Yeah,
were provoking Lucian, and that's what kickstarted the fight to begin with. Was them calling for Molly.
yeah,
That's what pissed off Lucian enough because even in well, okay, it felt like even in this moment, Lucian still
yeah,
didn't want to kill them,
yeah.
but he
That
did
was his
say
comment.
he was like I can't share it, or he said something where he was like, unfortunately, I am going to have to do away with you all. He said
Yeah,
something that kind of made it seem like this was it, like
yeah.
now I can kill you.
The
But Oh, no, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, that whole had a moment of introspection of kind of losing themselves a bit of
Yeah.
why did I like I
Yeah.
left you alive? Why did I leave
Mhm.
you alive? Like not recognizing some subconscious part of them that kept the Mighty Nine alive, which we can assume obviously is this Molly connection.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it did lead into the whole um because yeah, because it was still so Lucian. That's what I'm saying. Like it was still so much of Lucian was this character of like still being a dick about things and still being kind of really flamboyant about it.
Yeah.
Um, and leading to the fight was when he realized that the other threshold crest was gone, which was fucking
Mhm. Oh,
hilarious. That
yeah.
was so
Yeah.
good. That felt like such a win
Yeah.
for the big bad guy to be
Yeah.
like, "Wait, my
Yeah.
plans, you foiled them!"
Mhm.
Like, um, only to get really horrific with them saying, "Well, I'll just reach out to your family." It's like, well, shit. Um, but no, that was such a good win, I think, for the Mighty Nine to be like, "Hey, we did something good. We
Yeah.
did the right thing with this."
We got the
Um,
fat dub. Yep.
yeah. Um, and that then led to further
Yeah.
enragement, which eventually
Mhm.
led to the combat. Uh, but yeah, no, I loved the Molly callbacks.
Mhm.
Um, such a good mechanic in this game.
Yeah.
In this entire fight, like one, the eye mechanics for the saving throws, but the
Really
mechanics
cool.
where if they were successfully able to uh, affect Lucian's
Mhm.
mind with Molly callbacks, he would lose
Yeah. A legendary action, yeah.
a legendary action. Yeah,
Mhm.
so
It
that
was
was
really
excellent.
cool.
That's such a good mechanic, because it was still up in the air. It wasn't just that they had to just call out something.
Yeah.
Molly said they still had to make the persuasion roll. It felt earned.
Yeah.
Um, and it makes sense because it would have stunned him for a quick second in those 6 seconds that
Yeah.
that super quick
Mhm.
round happens. Um, yeah, I liked it a lot. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
So do you think, like, for me personally, with all of these Molly callbacks and stuff and
Mm.
the pressure it's had on Lucian, I want to believe like 100% that when Lucian is defeated, we will get a glimpse of Molly back. Because right now, in this entire time, it's felt like Lucian has had to suppress and fight back against those memories, against that aspect of Molly is there. But if Lucian knows he is defeated and knows he is dying and is going to die, he has no reason to fight it anymore. He has no reason to suppress those feelings, those memories, those emotions. So I feel like I could see in Lucian's dying moments like a crumb of Molly
Yeah,
peeking through again.
I'm with you on that. I don't think Molly's coming back. I
No,
don't think
yeah.
Molly's
No, no, yeah.
um, I'm not sure. I think because it's too much of that Molly is Lucian and Lucian is Molly,
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily like fighting personalities in his
Mhm.
head, like Molly's fighting for control. I
Yeah.
think it's more he's struggling with these almost like strange feelings, like a stranger's emotions in his
Yeah.
head of yes, that is me, but it's not me. This is not what I want, but it is what I want. So I think it
Yeah.
might be more of it's still gonna be Lucian, but Lucian will
Yes.
acknowledge
Yeah.
Molly or
Yeah. That's a
acknowledge,
better way to put it, yeah.
his memories with the Mighty Nein or acknowledge his time. He keeps saying that he has, like, no memories of it, he's not there, Molly's
Mhm.
dead. I believe him.
Mhm.
But I think it might be a matter of them triggering it in Lucian so that he does remember. So it could be,
Yeah.
as you say, in his dying moments, he's like, well, and yeah, we get a little bit of Molly, and but again, I don't think it's like a flick a switch kind of Molly jumps in and takes over, because
Yeah.
that would
It
be
could even it could
horrific
even
for
be
Molly.
like it could be like the small like it could even be as him like in his dying breath he just like looks at the party and just says like I remember. Like I
Yeah,
remember like all of our times together and all of
yeah,
that stuff.
I
It could
think
be
there's
something so
got to be
small like that.
something. Yeah, I don't think there's any coming back from this form that Lucian is in.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think the concept of Molly returning and
Mhm.
having some forms of uh not intelligence, but some form of kind of consciousness in this
Yeah.
body would be horrifying. Because you
Mhm.
imagine Molly who's,
Yeah.
been dead and then to come back and be like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Um, So I think it'd be more Lucian staying
Yeah.
cognizant and
Mm-hmm.
aware and
Mm-hmm.
recognizing Molly.
Yep.
Um, which and it might not happen because he has been
True.
saying that
Yeah.
Molly is dead. But it could just be more an acknowledgement of the Mighty Nine and what
Mm-hmm.
they've done.
Yep. This is
If
this is
they
just me holding out
could,
hope because I love Molly.
yeah. Oh, 100%,
Yep.
100%. It would be wonderful. It's
Yep.
been clearly so set up through this entire arc of
Yeah.
things do get into his brain about Molly.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Sildan or Kildan, sorry, on YouTube saying like Justice said, if Molly is dead, why are the callbacks working? That was one of the things that they
Mm-hmm.
said. Lucia was like, he's dead. It's not. It's like stop trying.
Yeah.
He's gone. And she's like, then why are you acting this way?
Yeah.
Like, then why is it clearly having an effect on you? Yeah, that was a really
Mm-hmm.
cool callback. Lucian's so in denial that
I know. He's in that stage. He's in the denial stage. But before we go any further, let's take a quick break and look at
yeah,
some art. Let us look at some
yeah.
fan art. And on the topic of Lucian, let's take a look at my pick real quick. Well, both of our picks,
Ooh.
but we'll start with mine this time around. With this fabulous art done by @RiotRenders on Twitter. I believe they're a Riot employee. They
Oh,
do work
cool.
on League of Legends and stuff. We
Oh,
have this
cool.
really cool Lucian art here with the eyes, the flowing mane, a lion's
The
mane,
hand out front. That's so cool.
and yeah, the hand up front, like almost beckoning you to come forward. Definitely really cool. The shredded muscles.
Yeah. Oh, so
The,
buff.
yeah.
So buff.
My God.
Uh, no, that's so cool. I love the eyes.
Mm-hmm. Super, super, super creepy.
Yeah.
But again, I can't believe that when I first saw like the mini Lucian stuff, I didn't immediately think of Doctor Octopus from Spider-Man.
Yeah,
It's so perfect.
that's hilarious.
Um, but yeah,
Doc Ock.
yeah, what a great character. I think the original actor from the Spider-Man 2 who played Doc
Alfred
Ock
Molina.
is coming back
Yeah.
for the new Spider-Man movie, which is
Spoilers.
super hype.
Spoilers for
Oh yeah. Spoilers for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
this is now a MCU podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super great. But yeah, I've been loving all of the Lucian art from this episode.
Mm.
It's been so good. And to go off of that, Alana's art is in a similar
Oh,
vein of Lucian,
yeah.
but with a twist, a really interesting
Yeah.
twist. I hope I picked the right one. You said the second picture, so hopefully this was the right one. It's one of just Lucian,
Yeah.
sitting
I
on
haven't seen it yet.
his throne. Um,
Ooh, it's
yeah,
so cool.
it's so
Yeah,
cool.
this is really cool because like one, I love the cyberpunk kind of aesthetic,
Hmm.
but um in talking about that peacock god that I also about before, it's
Yeah.
Argus. Thanks for the
Mm.
chat for letting me know, Argus. And if anyone's seen American Gods, the TV series, Argus in that is like the all-seeing god, but is surrounded by screens with like eyes on it. And I'm just
Oh,
now realizing
jeez.
similar this kind of how similar this is to that depiction of that god. Um, but it's really cool. I love this. I love the horns. I like these
I
big.
know it's so good. Like I love like alternate universe art that's done
Mhm.
by the community for like the Mighty Nine and stuff, and Cyberpunk is definitely really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I like
the
that one a lot.
electrical work, yeah, the horns being like a massive like wires and
Mm,
all that stuff is so cool. Sitting on
very
a throne.
Matrix.
Yeah, yeah, very Matrix. He's
Very
plugged
Matrix.
in. This is Lucian becoming a
Yeah.
part of the Nordverse. This is he's in the Ultra Codex. Yep, yes, Adam.
Yeah.
Lucian
Oh my
is a
god.
part of the Ultra Codex.
Nah, it's so cool.
Yeah. Um, loving all of the Lucian art. It's so good. It is so good. And there's been a few comedic pieces of art done
Yeah.
for Lucian as well
Oh
in
yeah.
this form. I saw a handsome Squidward one for Lucian in this form.
Saw that. I saw that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I almost picked that one because it was so good. Um, But
Yeah.
yeah, it was great. Um, but yeah, so back to this fight. Lucian is one beefy son of a gun. I think before phase one ended, he ended up taking like over 600 damage.
Yeah, so it was like I got that stat.
Hmm.
Found that stat. This was on critical stats. Um, yeah, end of round 4, and then round 5 he didn't take any damage. But end of
Hmm.
he took some from Blight, maybe. Either way, towards the end, yeah, 630 damage total by the end of round 4.
Hmm.
Which is a lot of damage.
Yeah, yeah, that is nothing to
um
sneeze at.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. And I was saying to you before, like, or maybe I was saying on the show, I can't remember. Time has no meaning. Um, of how I wasn't fully paying attention to where the Mighty Nine were at. I
Yeah,
was focusing more on the damage they were doing to Lucian, so I have
yeah.
no idea where the Mighty Nine are at. I know at
Neither,
the
neither
end they
do
got a
I.
little bit of a heal.
Hmm.
And I know crit roll stats will post like this is where everyone's levels are, which I'm certain to read.
Hmm.
Um,
I think some of
but
them hadn't even been damaged at all.
I don't think Veth took any
I don't
damage.
think Caduceus did either.
Because Veth was almost pulled over by Elatus,
Yes,
but
and
I
she
don't
did get
think
another eye because of that.
yeah. So I don't think Veth's taken any damage.
Yeah.
I don't think Caleb's taken too much damage.
No. If
I
yeah,
think
if
it's like
any.
the melee in your face
Hmm.
people are the ones that have taken the most damage.
Yeah, Bo's
Um
probably hurting. Yasha might be hurting a
Bo,
little bit.
yeah, I
Jester's
think
probably hurting a little
Jester
bit.
took a
Yeah.
lot of Jester got hit by the necrotic one twice, I'm
Yeah.
fairly certain. So
Yeah.
she
That
took quite a bit of damage. So yeah, I'm interested to see the write up of where everyone's at. Also like the potential spells
Hmm.
left. Paul Caduceus lost his 8th level spell. Um
But thinking about this now, that is terrifying because this Lucian in this form was a fucking force to be
yeah.
reckoned with and was doing serious damage.
Yeah.
How the hell is phase two gonna play out? Like,
My My brother at the moment's watching campaign 1, and I was like,
uh-huh.
"Oh, where are you up to?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm at the Raishon fight." So for
Ah,
me, I'm just thinking this is like the Raishon fight of we just fought Thordak, like the biggest,
yeah,
baddest dragon. Let's immediately fight Raishon
yeah.
afterwards. Um, so I'm terrified because they're hurt, they've spent spells, they're all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of messed up, and yeah, they're going into essentially phase 2, probably the last phase. I don't think it's gonna be I hope it's not Kingdom Hearts and there's like 4 phases to this final boss.
Hey, we might
Um,
have a multi-episode combat. Well, it
he's
already
gotta
is
turn
going to be
into a
multi-episode, but
dragon, and then he's
yeah,
gotta turn into a tower, and then
yep.
he's got to turn back into himself, yeah. Uh, yeah, so I'm hoping that, like, this is the final form, and
I would imagine it probably is.
I'm excited to see the mini, and the
Oh,
map
and
that
the
matches
map,
it,
I
apparently.
know. Oh, it's gonna be.
Like,
I'm
is it
glad he didn't show
Rocky
us
or
something?
something?
Night. I'm glad he didn't show us last night. It's gonna be
Yeah,
even
yeah.
even more epic in this in
Oh
this
my
in this
goodness.
next thing. But like, I'm hyped for next week's fight because it's
Mm.
probably going to be the entire episode.
I can't watch it live.
You can't.
I don't think so.
Uh-oh.
I've had like the last 2 weeks off school, so I can watch crap.
Oh, gotcha.
And now I'm just like,
Yeah.
I think I have to go in. I can't.
Yeah. Next Thursday is actually my last day of school. So I won't have work the next morning. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm not
bummer.
sleeping that night probably.
Oh, I
Especially
think
depending on
I'm
what
ready.
happens.
Yeah, I think I'll probably just take school off again. I
It it
I
it does feel like next week is probably going to be the last one because the cast is a week ahead. And Matt stated in his
yeah.
tweet that the campaign doesn't have to end in a climactic battle and stuff. So that
Yeah.
signals to me that the fight is already over.
Yeah.
Um, but
And I
who
feel
who
like
knows? Who knows? It could be
at
more
this
still.
point I'm not worried about character death so much because I feel
Hmm.
like yeah, I feel like it means that they're going to be successful in defeating this because
Yeah, maybe.
Matt saying that it's not going to end in a climactic fight makes me think that Oh, I don't know. I'm weird with spoilers, and to
Hmm.
some extent, I feel like what Matt said is a spoiler. Um, Again, they can say whatever the fuck they want,
Yeah.
but it's like saying that the campaign doesn't need to end with a big fight and that we'll see the Mighty Nein story continue in other ways seems pretty obvious that they're going to defeat the city. And at the level they're
Mm.
at, death is practically impermanent. So,
Yeah.
um, I think we're probably going to be okay with like the character surviving and that sort of thing. Not to, sorry if anyone doesn't want to hear that because
Yeah.
I think it's a spoiler. Um,
Mm. No, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. So
Um,
I think that might also be why the stakes don't feel quite as high. Because I think at least with campaign one with Vecna, it's like, well, any of these guys could die, and we know for certain that a character's gonna die.
yeah.
Um, so we were prepared for that at the very least.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But then that could mean like a character death happening being even more of like a whiplash. Like, oh, I wasn't expecting
True.
this to happen.
True. It could
Um,
Matt could be fucking with us, and it
yeah,
could the campaign could end with a big fight, and it's a
yeah,
TPK.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm still going to enjoy it. I'm just like
Hmm.
I kind of don't want to know what's going to happen.
But I could see like because they're looking pretty hurt. Like especially like some of the melees are looking pretty hurt even after that nice heal. They're probably still relatively injured, and that obviously we have no idea what Lucian's going to be
That's the
capable of
thing.
being like connected to the city in this way. Like we
Yeah.
could see people go down. Like we could see like a death happen in combat, but then obviously they
And
have resurrections
and
and stuff. But
and Lucian's all about, I need more help. Like
yeah,
what
yeah.
what
What
is
does that
Lucian going to
mean?
bring in? Is it going to be like weird? Is it going to be those weird kind of flesh monsters again?
Hmm.
Like, because I mean, Vecna had skeletons, and the skeletons were keeping crowd control.
Yeah.
So having minions in a big boss fight is nothing new, but we
Hmm.
haven't really seen it yet. So I think that
Yeah.
could be a potential case. I wonder if the eyes are still going to play, and we haven't seen the mini. Is he still going to have the eye stalk shooting off the stuff? Because
Yeah.
we know what they do, except
Hmm.
for one of them.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk about these eye stalks a little
Yeah.
bit. So we know practically what most of them do, except for where Miramis, because Miramis was saved both
Yeah.
times. So we got Tamore is fear, so causes them to be frightened, which is fine for them.
Hmm.
They've got resistance to that. Kolpasi? Kolpasi
Yep.
was the guilt one,
Hmm.
which caused Bo to essentially uh not want to attack. I think that's what happened,
I think it
right?
was disadvantage on saving throws.
Yeah. Oh, and it was the -10, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. It was -10,
Yeah,
yeah.
minus.
Or was that the blood maledict thing?
Oh, maybe I don't know.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
There was a lot in that fight. There was a lot in that
Adam,
fight. There were
Adam,
a lot of
Adam
new
will tell
mechanics.
us. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stacking mechanics as well.
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of buffs and
Hmm.
things like that. We had Luctus, which was the slow,
Hmm.
which Ford got hit with, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
rough.
Fastodon was the necrotic damage, so it caused like the
That was
blisters and
real
everything to
rough.
appear. Um, okay, so the -10 was the blood maledict. The compulsi was the guilt one, but it could only affect one at a time, which is very good.
Yeah.
Miramis, we have no idea, although it did target two people, just didn't work. Gordius was, oh geez, Alana, what'd you write here? Gor- Gordius was the charm,
Ah,
so
yeah.
almost essentially like close to a dominate in the sense
Yeah.
that the charm caused them to
Become
want to
hostile
attack.
to the other. Yeah.
Yeah, hostile. Yeah. So that's no good, especially when
Nope.
you get it on the barbarian
Oh,
and the
jeez.
wizard.
Yeah. The hasted
Particularly,
barbarian.
she missed quite a lot.
Yeah.
Just
I felt so
oh,
bad for Ashley
it
this
was
fight.
it was a very it was so Yasha though. This
Yeah.
fight. Like I love Yasha and I love Ashley. This is so
Yeah.
on brand though of getting charmed and missing.
Yeah. Yeah.
She needs better
Attacking
dice.
Bo again, but
Although
missing.
in this sense, the dice worked in her favor because
Yeah.
she missed Bo.
Hmm.
Um, But yeah, so on brand. So on brand for
Oh yeah,
Yaksha.
definitely.
Um, we had Vigilian, which was the anti-magic cone eye. It's the one that was above
Oh,
Lucian's head.
we know that name?
Yeah,
Oh,
apparently.
wait, when did we learn that?
Um, I think it was. I got it from Kurl's dad. I don't know.
Oh,
Um, which okay, I'll be honest. I just got this from Crit Roll Stats, so
oh,
I was also surprised. I was like, oh, I didn't know. So take this with a grain of salt.
oh, okay.
But yeah, we know that there was one named that, and that was the one that was in the center and was
And was that the
casting
one that
the
we thought we didn't know the name of?
no, the
Or is
one
there
that we
another
didn't
one that
know
we
the
don't
name
know the
on
name
was Kopasi.
of? Okay.
Yeah. Kopasi was the one we found out this episode. Um I-
Or no, I think we knew Kolpasi from the other episode because it was Fastener and
I'm
Kolpasi that
not
we met.
Lynn, I don't know this stuff.
Yeah, we're not the lore buffs here.
Uh,
Vigilin
and
was the one we didn't know yet. Okay.
okay. And then Gordius I've already said.
Yeah.
Ira was the fireball, nice and
Oof.
simple,
Nasty.
and
Yeah.
Elatus was the get over here one, which
Yeah.
was cool. I like that. But
Hmm.
I wanna theorize what Miramis does.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, what was the save? Do you
Good
remember?
question. Good question. Oh,
Because people were saying that
retake.
Miramis
I'm
could mean like
retake out of here.
wonder.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like wonder. Um,
Wonder what that. Oh, is wisdom. Okay.
Wisdom. Damn it! I just got it.
So it could be just like a another like dazed effect or something.
Yeah,
Where
but
they're
that is
lost in like
true.
the wonder of the city. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like hypnotic pattern or something
Oh
similar
yeah,
to that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
just like a similar like stun effect, essentially just
Mm,
flavored differently,
yeah.
perhaps.
But I liked that they weren't all offensive.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how they were more debuffs.
Yeah,
In a way. The only one that was super offensive was the necrotic one and the fireball,
yeah.
I think. The rest were all kind of more like to keep people away or to keep
And
them.
sometimes the crowd control ones can be even more deadly
Oh yeah,
than
crowd control
the others.
is the best.
Yeah,
Um
especially landing those charm effects on the right targets can really mess your day up. Especially like if they didn't break that charm on Essek before he went.
oh,
Essek could have just unleashed like a 8th level something.
and I think he would have
Yeah.
like I think he would have. That's like gravity sinkhole like against
Oof.
the most damaged party member. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been awful.
That would have been terrible. But one thing that we got this episode was Caleb chugging that supreme power potion that he picked up
Yes.
so many episodes ago. And we knew, like, when he picked that up, like, immediately when he got that item, like, we knew, like, he's
That's
going to save that for
later.
the final battle. He's saving that for the
Yeah.
final battle of this campaign.
Um,
Um,
that
we got it.
that was
We
really
got
cool.
it.
Does that last for an hour?
I'm not sure. I think, doesn't it? It only affects, like, one spell, though, right?
1 minute.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah.
first time you cast wait, yeah. The first time you cast a damage dealing spell of 4th level lower, instead of rolling dice, yeah, so it's a one and done.
Yeah. Was it 4th level or lower?
4th level or lower. So he
Okay.
used it for was it gravity fissure?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a level, 4th level or lower requirement. That definitely makes it a
Yeah.
bit more balanced because, yeah, I mean, drop on that, even like just like a disintegrate or something would
Yeah, that
be
would
pretty
be
ridiculous.
terrifying. Oh man, I love Disintegrate so much. Hope he still has some spell slots for Disintegrate left.
Yeah, they're gonna need all the firepower they can get for phase 2 because we don't even know how. Like, did Molly like just get like 600 more hit points? Like, what?
Yeah.
what could it
It
be?
could and it could be a thing of, like, even Lucian might not be fighting them, it could just be whatever's around, and they need
Yeah.
to focus fire on oh god. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, this fight could be something totally different. Um they might have to try to figure out how to sever Lucian from it cuz now Lucian could just be continually regenerating now that he's connected to the
Yeah,
city. So they may
like a
have to like
vampire.
sever his connection to it somehow, break different things. Yeah, I feel like this next fight is going to be very, very cool because it won't just be a all right, everyone do as much damage as you can to Lucian to kill him. There
I
might
wonder
be
if they could
layers to the
polymorph
fight,
Lucian.
mechanics to the fight that we need to do.
I want
He is the final raid boss. The
okay.
final.
Uh, I wonder if they could polymorph Lucian. If Lucian is the
Oh,
entire city. Could you imagine if just
oh
all of a
my
sudden, like,
god.
turns into, like, a dog?
Oh my god,
Um,
that would be amazing. But then what would happen to the party because they're inside the city? Then would they
th that
Did
that's
they
weird.
go
I don't
inside the polymorph?
what okay, theoretical, you're inside the belly of a whale and someone polymorphs the whale into a mouse. What happens?
Are you just like expelled
It's
from it?
like yeah, probably. I
Yeah,
feel
that would make the
like
most
it's
sense.
too horrific to think of you just
Jeez.
exploding out of
Yeah, that would not be ideal. Not be ideal. Yeah, I'd
I'm
imagine
sorry I
you'd just
brought
be
the question
expelled.
up. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that's totally fine. Oh, that's good. Let me just look at my timestamps here. Oh, so I wrote down some of like the funnier moments of this Ford's
Yeah.
Ring of Fire Resistance
Yes! Yes!
actually coming in
Finally!
clutch. Let's
Best
go.
redemption arc of the
So
entire
good.
show.
And
And it
Travis's
wasn't even for
reaction.
him.
Yeah, I know.
It didn't even protect him, but it protected Jester, so it's okay.
Yeah. It
Oh,
was so good. I
so
loved
good.
that. Um I also loved because when they're talking about how they didn't know what the last eye's name was, and
Yeah.
they were like it's Chadius or something, or they were just throwing out
Chad, yeah.
dumb names.
Yeah.
Um super good. Um
Oh my goodness.
and oh my god. I was like almost in tears laughing at when Caduceus got pulled to
Yeah.
Molly, and he was right in front of Lucian's unit.
Yeah.
And Caduceus be like, wonder what that eye does. And Marisha losing her shit. Cause then
Yeah.
after that, Travis and Marisha kept going with that joke of
Yeah.
like Lucian's junk and stuff, and
Oh my god.
and Travis was like, "Consume? No, not consume."
Oh god.
It's
Yeah.
just
No,
so
it was
dumb, but it's so.
Taliesin often has some of the best, like, one-liners.
I know.
Um, oh my
Oh
goodness.
god.
I saw this funny comment of, imagine your Essek and Caduceus fighting this aberrant abomination in the astral sea, and it's threatening
Hmm.
to destroy all existence, and the friends that you're fighting with are shouting out about, like, egg dick and hanging a tie on the door,
Yeah,
and you're just like, "What the fuck is happening?"
yeah.
Um I'd love to see I think it's we might be past the point of them trying to connect with Molly, like, we don't know, but they
Hmm.
might be past it, but I'd love to see Caduceus try in the sense of just dropping some Caduceus wisdom in this situation of even though
Yeah.
he doesn't
Some
have
mic drop
memories with
wisdom like he
Molly
dropped on Trent.
yeah, just, like, getting to the soul of Lucian and breaking it as he
Yeah,
often does.
yeah,
I think that'd be pretty cool, but who knows, we might be beyond that point of saving or breaking Lucian.
yeah. And this
Oh,
happened.
we
I think it happened during the fight, like when Lucian dipped towards the heart of the town, but it also happened before the fight really started. Was having the entire city scream
ooh.
was
Oh,
terribly
yeah.
frightening.
Yeah.
Um,
And, like, they all got nosebleeds and
yeah, really
yeah, that's
really gross and stuff. Because then I think back to
scary.
in campaign one when in the final fight when Vox Machina were successful and they heard the cheers from Vasselheim and
Mm.
stuff. But to
Yeah.
contrast that in this, it's the
Terrifying.
screams, it's the terrifying screams of a city.
Horrific.
Um,
Yeah.
but that just goes to show you like the contrasting elements of both campaigns and stuff
Yeah.
is
Medieval
interesting.
city.
Yeah,
Because it's like Thar and Fala versus
yeah,
Golgoza.
yeah.
Um, I like that. Man, oh shoot, what was I gonna say? Um, oh no, I've lost it. I've lost it completely.
Oh no,
Say. It's
I'm just
all
looking through
good. It
my.
probably wasn't that exciting. Um, it's like, oh yeah, I like that that we've got. It's not that interesting. I like thinking back to when we first learnt about this city from Vokodo,
Mhm,
and this concept of it hunting and chasing down and destroying things in the astral sea.
mhm.
I like to think of maybe what else has it absorbed.
Yeah.
'Cause it was clearly hunting down a Morgoth. The Morgoth was scared of it. Other things of similar nature are probably within this city. I
Mhm.
don't know if we're gonna see any of that, but I think it'd be really cool if
Mm.
we did. Um,
Maybe that could be the help that Lucian is seeking, like these other
oh,
powerful
that's
entities.
cool. I like that
Yeah,
theory. Yeah, like he brings out a bunch of like Githyanki or like
yeah,
mind flayers or
yeah.
red dragons or
Oh,
something.
jeez.
That would be cool. I think that might be overdoing it. They
Yeah,
have to fight some red dragons
probably.
as well, but
Yeah.
that'd be cool. He just
Hmm.
claps his hand and an astral dreadnought appears
Oh
in front
my
of them.
god. Remember
That's
me?
cool though.
Yeah.
I like that theory. Um, yeah.
But
Ooh,
that does make sense because obviously the Markoth was afraid for its life, so that
yeah.
obviously tells us that the city has already been consuming things of that nature.
Yeah.
So,
Ugh.
hey, I mean, could happen. And the imagery of Caduce, or of Lucian with with all the eyes definitely invokes strong like beholder
Yeah.
themes and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean,
100%.
yeah, maybe there's some
It's all
beholders in here as well.
aberration bullshit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
anything
yeah.
astral sea, anything aberration is going to have eyes and stalks and
Hmm.
purple skin,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah.
Um, but on the topic of consume, uh, how do we feel about Tharizdun at this point?
Maybe Tharizdun is the help. Tharizdun is the help that Lucian is getting.
I'm having such a crisis
I
of faith.
still Tharizdun is still. I think it's just copium at this point.
I
We're hopped up on copium. Tharizdun is still in it.
all I'm thinking though is like if before knowing this is the final arc, we were like, Tharizdun has to be behind this.
Yeah.
They're the one driving the city. They're the one that caused this, and maybe that's still the case. But I feel like now seeing Lucian in charge, knowing this is the final moment with the city, essentially, it is a well wrapped up story. It is it is all together. I'm not certain where this outside influence could be, apart from that psychic storm they talked about. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing where this influence of a third party omniscient,
Yeah.
omnipresent elder evil would play into it.
Yeah, and as Stormy Boy is saying, maybe campaign 3, yeah, like a lot of these like major things that are set up this campaign could just be set up for campaign 3. Like we obviously had the Sky Rider, or I can't, the Star Rider, the Rin, I can't remember,
Plane
Realm
Rider.
Plane
Yeah.
Rider Rin,
Plane Rider.
their theories about the
The
astral stuff,
convergence.
the convergence of stuff, because we thought maybe that was gonna like be leading up to some big bad stuff happening this campaign, but that stuff and Tharizdun, that could just be Matt like setting up stuff for campaign 3. Definitely see that Plane Rider Rin. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's ugh, I don't know. I'm hoping that it's
Mm-hmm.
it's
Hoping that
Tharizdun
Tharizdun
still
is
somehow, but
still connected in here somehow. But I could see the Plane Rider Rin stuff and Thera's Dune and like the Angel of Irons, all those story arcs that were set up. I could see that being things for campaign 3. It could be things that actually need like decades to set up and to really see come to fruition and all that stuff.
Yeah. No. But yeah, no, that was a good episode. Again, I wasn't expecting it to be the final fight, but
no,
it
definitely not. And now again, the big question is what the heck is Lucian going to be capable of now that he's directly plugged into the city? And again, we talked about the theory of like, oh, maybe they do call forth these Markots, these other aberrations, but again, yeah, that would probably be throwing too much at them. Like that would be, borderline like an impossible fight. But obviously, I don't think they're going to have an impossible fight because it feels like what Matt was saying is that I think the fight ends with this episode. And again, that could mean that, everyone dies. But also the way that Matt said, he was like, he said in the tweet, trust us to, wrap up this story in a way that's satisfying for all of the players.
Yeah,
so
and we do trust them.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. But
I'm so sorry. I've got to just jump off really quickly.
Oh, no problem.
No
problem.
Keep talking because I can be back in like a minute. But
yeah,
I'm just
sure thing.
Sorry.
I can vent. Yeah, how's everyone else feeling about this episode? There's still so much more in this fight, and there's the theories about what Lucian could do are almost limitless at this point because we're in the realm of manifestation, and given the amount of power that Lucian has, who the heck knows what we could expect from Lucian's power? He could just imagine a bunch of random stuff to happen, and it could happen. We don't know. If anything, the Mighty Nein deserves to wrap up what loose ends they can before just fading into obscurity. They're tired of fighting and they want to live the rest of their lives in peace. Yeah. And like you were saying earlier, Adam, about wanting to fade into obscurity, that could be why they, it could be a perk of this fight not being a world, renowned thing. The entire world doesn't know what's happening. That could be to the Mighty Nein's benefit because they could want to, throw in the towel after this arc is over. They might want to retire after this because of everything they've gone through, and being able to lay low because of their low renown level in this instance could be a benefit to them. Could be a benefit. I can't wait for the fight. Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. I was so hyped with this fight and everyone trying to get Molly out. All I see is the Nine floating in a circle chanting Molly. Were you in the Discord, Danny, last night with all of us spamming Molly's name? Oh, it was great. It was so great. You want a beach day after this fight, Leah? Oh, when was the last time we had a beach episode? It's been so long. It's been so long. We need a beach episode again. We need the beach episodes to come back. Veth is definitely retiring. Oh, 100% Veth. Veth at the very least is retiring after this one. 100%. Unless she dies. And then she's permanently retired. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Everything's better with Molly. Yeah, apparently. I wonder how Sprinkle is doing. Oh, I was wondering if Matt was gonna if Matt's gonna kill Sprinkle in one of these episodes. I wonder because Sprinkle is still Sprinkle. Artagan just hijacks Sprinkle every now and then. So I have no idea. Nope, I was watching the app because it's hard to concentrate. Yeah, that's true. I get distracted by the Discord chat a lot. I sometimes have to close it out and just focus on my notes in the episode because sometimes, yeah, I just totally lose track. And Bear denying the Molly comments, yeah. Bear was fighting a solo war in that instance, doing his darndest. But we were stronger. We were stronger. The Molly chants were stronger. It was so good. At the very least, we need Essek and Caleb to get out alive because they have so much tension between them. I agree. Those wizards just need to have their own private moment where they can talk about their feelings and stuff. Oh, you were on Bear's side too? Stormy boy. Are we gonna have problems, Stormy boy? Are there gonna be issues? We stand Molly Mock Tea Leaf in this chat. we hope to see him in some way, shape, or form. Some way, shape, or form. I would love to see. And again, yeah, like Molly is gone. It'd be Lucian that like comes forth to acknowledge, you know, the existence of Molly or like all those memories and stuff. Sprinkle would become a Fey being, indeed. Indeed. I'm just sad to see. I'm sad to see Frumpkin go after all this because we gotta remember, successful or not, Frumpkin's gonna be leaving the party. Frumpkin is going to be leaving. Caleb is going to relieve Frumpkin of his duty, and yeah, Frumpkin's gonna be gone. So sad. So sad. Run, Stormy, run. Get out while you can, indeed. I don't want him to come back. I don't mind if we get a little Molly when Lucian dies. Yeah. Yep. Can totally agree with that. Also, when the Lucian mini came out, I freaked out and my screen got all weird and it was magnified and it couldn't fix it. So much was happening. Oh, geez, that's terrifying. That's terrifying. It was Lucian breaking a fourth wall. I think that's what happened there, Danny. I think that's what happened there. What if campaign 3 someone has a familiar and it turns out to be the same Fae? Oh, wow, that would be interesting. I don't know how that would play out, but that would be really cool if that were the case. Maybe Frumpkin will decide to say, "Oh, that would be so cute." Frumpkin just decides of his own accord that he wants to stay of his own free will. Oh, that would be so cute. That would be adorable. I would love to have that happen. I would love to have that happen. Definitely. 100%. I really want Bo to take Magic Initiate and learn Find Familiar and have a pet owl. Force a Professor Thaddeus to come back. Oh my god, how poetic would that be? Oh my goodness. Could see it. Could see it. Frumpkin either staying with Caleb or becoming Bo's familiar. Oh. Interesting. Yeah. And yeah, Frumpkin changing into an owl to fill the void that Professor Thaddeus left in Bo's heart. Yep. I could see that happening. I could see that happening. I'm definitely just remember Danny's narrative telephone with the Familiar Foundation. I haven't actually seen the past couple of narrative telephones. I am behind. I am behind the narrative telephones, unfortunately. Caleb snaps him away, but then it doesn't work because Frumpkin loves him a lot. Oh, oh, that's so cute. Oh, I love Frumpkin. Oh, that's so adorable. I feel like there's probably fanfics about that. Kayla or Essek gets Frumpkin. Ooh, oh, as like a little gifty, as a token of Caleb's love for Essek. He gives him Frumpkin. Oh, that would be adorable. You need to see her episode. Oh, I know. I really need to catch up. I really need to catch up on the narrative telephones. I really do. I really do. Where would we put this episode on the tier list? On our tier list that we have. I haven't been keeping up on updating it, unfortunately. I keep getting distracted. But how would we rate this episode? Probably an S. Probably an S, just given the amount of weight that this has on the overall narrative, because this is the final fight. I think that's automatic grounds for an S. At the very least, like low S. High A. Yeah, I'm thinking high A or low S, probably. A? Maybe it is an A. Maybe it is just a high A. I'm thinking I'm more towards low S for this one. I'm thinking low S, high A, low S. Yeah, that feels pretty appropriate. That feels pretty appropriate. Yeah. Or maybe D. I think D. You could probably skip this episode. Was this filler? Was this episode filler? Yeah, this is probably filler. Yeah. Yeah, this episode's probably filler. You can probably just skip this one. I don't think anything really important happened. Yeah. Shot? Oh god. I'm out of my I drank all of my mics. My Mike's Hard Lemonade. I don't have any more. I don't have any more. Maybe a low S because it's not quite as grand as the Vecna fight. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Vecna fight episode is like an S plus. That episode was so good. Super filler, yeah. Caleb's like, Frumpkin helped me, he can be there for you too, and Frumpkin agrees and stays with Essek. Oh my god, Andrea, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this? Oh my god. Frumpkin helped me through dark times. Maybe he can help you. Oh God. Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. Yeah, Vecna is S plus. Oh, 100. 10 million% actually. Um, okay. Not a problem. Yeah, so any other closing thoughts, feelings, and emotions about this episode? Um, it was a lot. And I am excited. I am actually excited because typically I'm not too big. Oh, Alana's back. Alana is back. You're just in time. You're just in time for our
Oh,
wrap
sorry.
up.
Okay, cool.
No worries. You're,
Sorry
yeah, you're
about
just
that.
in time for our wrap up. I just did my any other final thoughts, feelings, emotions about this one.
Oh, cool.
Um, because usually I'm not usually a huge fan of combat. Um,
Mm,
oh, I the only time I really like combat is when there's a narrative aspect to it, and obviously this being the
mm,
final battle, I'm
yeah.
super excited, and I can't wait to have like a full, possibly a full episode of combat, mixed with maybe a puzzle aspect depending on what
Yeah.
happens. Um,
Yeah. I think it's going
so
to be I'm excited to see if there's any new mechanics that he's going to bring into this
yeah,
final, because the
hmm
way he described it was like, yeah, like kind of stuck into the wall or like
yep.
really built into the space. I got very I almost said a seal door. It's not a seal door. That's Lord of the Rings. What was the tree monster from campaign one called? The one that was like Vex, marry me.
I can't remember.
Sildor, Sildor, Sildar.
Someone in chat will know.
I I got very kind of similar vibes to that of like, able to be within the space and had full
Mm,
control of the space.
yeah.
Um, I'm kind of excited to see that. I'm excited maybe for, yeah, for more mechanics
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm looking forward to.
um
The unknown is what I'm excited for, but also obviously terrified about.
yeah. Oh, and that's something I wanted to bring up too. They excuse me, they're currently like 13 or 14 days away from their 1 year anniversary, the Mighty Nine.
Mm.
Like they haven't even been together
Oh my
since
god, that's
Saundor.
so crazy.
Yeah. So I wonder if that's how the wrap up's going to happen. Like they defeat Lucian, they defeat the city, and then they have like these 2 weeks to figure out what they're going to do, and they're going to end in World. Maybe that'd be kind of sweet.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah,
Huh. I could see that
I don't know.
happening. A lot happening this year. Holy cannoli.
It's a packed year.
That
Yeah,
is.
but Vox Machina got an entire year off,
Yeah.
like to take care of themselves. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I'm excited to
Dang.
see what happens for the I hope, and I know I don't think it's a fan servicey thing to do, but I hope they make it to the 1 year anniversary
That
of the
would be
Mighty
that would
Nine.
be nice. It would be nice to like if they realize that and then they do go back to Trostenwald on their one
Yeah,
year and reminisce and stuff. That would be a very satisfying
yeah,
ending, I think, for me.
yeah.
Be really coming full circle. Stuff that
Mm,
would be awesome. And like the same barkeep is there. They're like, oh, it's been a while. And then
yeah,
they make a side comment. It's like, yeah, this is 1 year ago today is when we all met.
yeah.
And then the barkeep
Again,
is
it's
like,
going to be
oh, how did that year go? And they're just like, well, let me tell
it's
you.
essentially the hobbits in Hobbiton. Like no one's
Yeah,
going to know who they are or what they've done.
yeah,
Yeah, I
that
like
would
that.
be. Oh, now I'm hoping that's the ending that we get because that's
Yeah,
adorable. That's adorable. But I'll be satisfied with whatever they come up with.
yeah.
But that would definitely be a
Just going to be a
really
TPK
cute
next
one.
episode.
Yeah. That's no sweat off our backs. It'll be fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
be totally cool. Do we have any other closing thoughts, feelings, emotions? We are halfway into our
Oh my
final battle
goodness.
of the campaign. The final battle.
What are
We
we
made
gonna
it.
do?
I don't know.
Because presumably they're gonna take some time off between this campaign and the next campaign.
Yeah,
What are they
I'm
gonna do?
guessing. I'm
We're talking
guessing
about
the
one
the
shots.
yeah, and I'm guessing the downtime is going to be longer this time around
Mm,
because of COVID is
COVID.
still a thing and all that stuff. But
Yeah,
also because the animated series, they're probably going to want to put a lot of focus into that. So I could see like a 4 to 6 month break before we see a campaign 3.
Yeah.
But
we'll find stuff to talk
I
about.
don't know. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
It's going to be 4 months of C3 predictions.
Yeah, that's all it'll be. That's all it'll be. Oh my god.
Yeah.
We will fully plot out the entire story of campaign 3
Yeah.
and all of the characters, all of their arcs, all of the everything.
All potential like story beats and all the
Yep.
spreads they could go, so that we
Yep.
cover everything and we're
Yep.
right all the
We
time.
will get all of it.
Well, I think you will find back in
Yeah.
break episode 22, I
Yep.
said that there was a
Yep.
possibility that Talison's character would say this to
Yep.
Dora's character, so
Mhm.
technically I am right.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But it's crazy because I wasn't here for the end of campaign 1. So I don't know how to cope with a campaign ending. I'm still in denial, I think. But I'm definitely so happy and thankful to be able to experience the end of a campaign in this way, you know, with this podcast, with this community we have. It really feels like we're tackling it all together. And there's that, it's the safety net of the community, like we're all here hand in hand, ready to embrace the final episodes of this campaign together, and we'll make it through it. We will make it through it.
Yeah, there's always going to be people that aren't happy with it or are dissatisfied, but I think being in a community and sharing it together, at the very least, you've got a good place to enjoy it to some extent. So I think it's
yeah.
No.
Y'all should do What the Sheep for the rest of the campaign, starting with campaign 2, episode 1.
I mean, our theories and predictions are going to be off the chain.
Oh, I know. We are going to be on point with those. Oh man, that would be.
Oh god.
That would be great. Just get tissues. Yep. So yeah, I mean, we could be looking at the last less than 5 episodes left of this campaign. We're on the home stretch.
Could be 10. They could take it up to 150, but even 10 feels a bit long.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like in the next couple of weeks rather than the next 10 weeks.
Yeah, because now I was saying that this arc concludes it. So obviously defeating Lucian, they'll probably have a full episode. So next episode, defeating Lucian, they will probably have an episode of wrap up, like when they wrap up everything, and then maybe they'll have like 1 or 2 fillers like in between those 2 episodes.
Yeah, because I think, I agree. And then look, if that gets us to around like early 140s, you get all the one shots that will eventually come out. Get a cool 150 for campaign 2.
Yeah. I could see that, but it's just it's wild to think that we've been in this campaign for 3 years, like 3 years now, and now we're down to the last couple weeks of the campaign. It's crazy, like when you really sit down and think about it. We've been in this campaign for so long. So long.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, it's good. And I'm happy to be sharing and experience it with all of you lovely folks and with you, Alana. And it's been a ride.
It's awesome.
Yeah. But with all that being said, I think we can go ahead and call this one a wrap. But before we fully sign off, Alana, do you want to tell the folks if anything's happening this weekend?
Yeah, it is happening. We're gonna hit Dice Heroes this weekend.
Let's go!
It's been a while. I mean, scheduling's hard, but either way, we're just super excited to jump back into it. So chapter 19 tomorrow on Hit Dice Heroes Twitch. Cool.
Twitch.tv/HitDiceHeroes. It's coming to y'all.
That's the one. Go check it out. You can follow us on Twitter. All the links are there, and it's a real fun time. And this session I've had planned for like months, so I'm probably talking up too much, and it's probably going to be real bad. But either way,
it's going to be great.
I'm just excited to finally get to this point. So come check it out.
We're at a really interesting story beat. So be sure to tune in tomorrow for all that stuff.
Every story beat is interesting.
Oh, it is very interesting. But yeah, thank you all so very much as always for joining us. People who tuned in for the live stream and interacted with us live, and for all of you who are watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Anchor or wherever else this podcast may find itself. Definitely appreciate you all being here and hanging out and chatting for our final stretch of this campaign. We are almost there. We are almost there. And as always, don't forget to love each other, but most importantly, don't forget to love yourself. That is the most important thing. You are worthy of love. You deserve it. So be sure to take care of yourself. Eat some food, drink some water, get some rest, get plenty of rest. You have earned it. I am proud of you. And so with all that being said, I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful rest of your morning, day, evening, wherever you may be on this glorious earth. And we'll see you all very soon. Bye, everyone.